Stranger Things 5 is on the way, and it's going to make things even scarier in Hawkins and the Upside Down. Keep watching to find out Season 5's release date and the latest news. Hawkins' final battle. It's been many years of strange happenings with the Stranger Things franchise, and the showrunners, the Duffer Brothers, are finally wrapping it up. And Season 5 signifies the beginning of the end of strange battles. Fans wouldn't want this to end yet, but then the Hawkins kids need the rest, as it isn't easy to keep up with the stranger beings from the Upside Down. Before Season 4, Matt and Ross Duffer had already mentioned that this season would be their last. The Duffers mentioned that the final battle had been planned and mapped out about 7 years ago in an open letter in February 2022. They said, "At the time, we predicted the story would last 4 to 5 seasons. It proved too large to tell in 4, but as you'll see for yourselves, we're now hurtling towards our finale. Season 4 will be the penultimate season, Season 5 will be the last." Although this is going to be the last of the series, the Duffer Brothers don't plan on keeping the fans from the Stranger Things experience, as they hope to develop even crazier projects in the future. In their letter, they said, "There are still many more exciting stories to tell within the world of Stranger Things, new mysteries, new adventures, new unexpected heroes. But first, before the fans start dreaming of more strange tales, the Duffer Brothers want to finish with the story of Eleven and her super brave friends, a heroic police chief and an ever-ready mum in the little town called Hawkins, and the other dimensional world that is known as the Upside Down. And they promised the final battle would be the best, most ferocious ever witnessed between the alternate worlds, and you really don't want to blink. You could miss a thing. It's Will's season. Whatever comes around goes around, and that's why Season 5 is going to come back to Will being the main focus and link to the Upside Down. Will's story, right from his personal growth and coming to terms with his own feelings and differences, is all going to be part of the thrilling journey Stranger Things 5 blesses the fans with. Like the Duffer Brothers confirmed, they said Will's going to be a big part and focus, is really all I can say of Season 5 in his journey. They continued by hinting that Will's coming of age is also an important aspect, as this might satisfy the fans who are curious about knowing what Will identifies as. Even though Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, already confirmed his character to be gay after he shared his encounter in Paris with an older man who was able to relate to Will and the struggles of coming out. Especially in the 80s, many fans won't agree unless it's spelled out in clear terms in Season 5. The Duffer Brothers said, "We're starting to see his coming of age, really, which has been challenging for a number of reasons, some of which are supernatural, but you're starting to see him come into his own." The cliffhanger Season 4 left off with is not without an explanation. How was Will able to feel Vecna was still alive? Why did the Mind Flayer choose him in Season 1? Well, it's a great time, as the fans should know that Season 5 is about to do justice to that. Vecna is returning. Stranger Things is famous for introducing new and scary villains every season, but with the release of Season 4 and the latest news on 5, the fans believe that Vecna tops the villain chart, and yes, he's returning for more chaos. The fans all saw how Nancy, Steve and Robin's attempt to get rid of Vecna failed. Will, who could feel Vecna after getting back into Hawkins, also mentioned how dangerous Vecna is to everyone and how much he's hurting. Jamie Campbell Bower, who plays Vecna, already teased his return in a chat with The Hollywood Reporter when he said, "Let me put it this way, I know about Season 5. Take from that what you will, a time jump." The Hawkins group has known since the first season that their Season 5 story might even take a longer leap into the future from where Season 4 ended. The inspiration to speed things up a bit might have been gotten from Season 4, as Matt Duffer mentioned that there's always a lesson to take from every season that'd help a continuance even much better. Matt also said they learned a great deal from the actors on set as well, and all these lessons have their own way of altering the next storyline. In his words, he said, "We've learned a lot just working with all our new actors and the ones we've worked with for a long time over this year making Season 4, so I'm sure it'll change a little bit from that outline." Then he assured the fans of a time jump when he said, "I'm sure we'll do a time jump. Ideally, we'd have shot Seasons 4 and 5 back to back, but there was no feasible way to do that. So these are all discussions we're going to have with our writers when we start the room up." Every question answered. For Stranger Things, there are still some loose plots that the fans are curious serious about tying together. Season 4 has left many questions that made the fans resort to convenient theories that explain it all. However, unlike the previous seasons of the show, Season 5 isn't going to raise more questions, but to sort out all the questions from the previous seasons, leaving the fans with a satisfied belly rush. Just like the fans, one of the cast, Priya Ferguson, who portrays Erica in the show, is also anxious to see all the loose ends tied up with Season 5. The young actress, who anticipates a closure, said, "I definitely want to see closure for the whole series. Hopefully, at the end of Season 5, I want to see closure and the whole situation being resolved." Erica doesn't want the show to leave the fans and cast thirsty, but a win for everyone. She said, "I don't want it to end on a very traumatic situation like the past seasons have. I want it to be that we defeated the monster and we won over it." The Duffer siblings talked about the things that will be touched upon in Season 5 while speaking with Collider. They mentioned how the reveal in Season 4 mostly had to do with the history of Vecna and how they tilt Season 5 towards the Upside Down, as more would be uncovered about this alternate dimension. They said the big reveals that are coming in Season 5 are really about the Upside Down itself, which we only start to hint at. There is that moment when we realise in Episode 7 this year that it's frozen in time. Getting to see the Upside Down and knowing how Vecna survived it over the years would be a cool one to watch, and the fans can't wait to see it play out. A perfect ending. Of course, the Duffer Brothers wouldn't have thought of ending the show without the perfect way to end the show. The director of the show, Sean Levy, hinted in May 2022 how he believes the Duffers have the ending planned out, though it's still in its secret phase. Sean said, "No one is winging it. Honestly, I think that the Duffer Brothers have an idea of how the show ends, and they've been teasing it for me over the past 6.5 years. But they keep things very private amongst themselves until it is fully formed." The show's director continued to talk about how amazing it feels to have the last season in view, when he said, "Then they bring it to me, and then we take the steps. It is very, very clear now, and it became clear for a while now that we have one season more that feels worth it and reliably amazing." And then he mentioned how they'd like to make a statement with Season 5 without overstaying their welcome, when he said, "We don't want to be one of those shows that outstays its welcome and is flailing while it searches for a way to stick the landing." Sean believes Season 5 would be iconic and even better than the previous 4 seasons. He said, "We really want to stick the landing. I feel like we've been able to do that with every season, and we also want to do it for the series." Matt Duffer's statement aligned with Sean's when he also spoke about how right the ending would be, when he said that they have already reached a point where they are now so sure that it feels right to close the show. He mentioned how the feeling of that perfect ending within himself and his brother is a very conceivable force that'll get the Stranger Things movement into the promised land. Release date. Season 4 was a super long ride, but an enthralling one. However, Matt Duffer has promised the fans that Season 5 would be shorter than Season 4, as they're aiming for 8 episodes that would run for about 10 hours. Matt said, "I think it's going to be longer than Season 1 because we just have so much to wrap up, but I don't think it's going to be as long as Season 4. Then, Ross Duffer confirmed that the writer's room would be up and running this year, when he said, "I know that the writer's room is going to start in that first week of August. Shooting is set to begin in early 2023, and by the middle of 2024, there should be Season 5 waiting to be seen on every fan's screens," according to Ross. That's the update regarding Season 5's release date and the latest news. What do you think of it? Let's have your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.